Hello everyone, in today's video we're just doing this last section of roof on this 12 hipped roof house. It's just a mono pitched trusses down the side here with a hip along the back and a hip along the front. The hip will shoot up from this corner up to the striking point up there, and then the roof then follows around the front here. It's going to sit on some timber beams we're going to put together there. They'll be notched into the brickwork, so as I said, sits on long-legged joist hangers that go onto this bit of steel. We've got to drop them down. The hangers have got to drop down, if you can just see, to be flush with the floor, underside of the floor joist in there, so that runs through. And again, that'll run all the way along here, turns 90 degrees here, there'll be another hip here, and then it just flies off for a little bit of a wraparound sort of canopy roof there. So as I said, mono trusses all the way down here, fairly simple, just got to set them back. There's a little girder mono on each end, and then we can just strike the hips in and then infill this bit hand cut. So that's what we're doing for today. First jobs I've got to do as usual is half lap these plates together, then we can get a little bandstand scaffold set up down here, bolt that steel on, which I've already drilled, and get those hangers on and then get some trusses in. So let's get going. So what you see I've done there, we want to try and set a nice straight line to put these, hang on, we've got these long leg joist hangers to go in, and I want to get a nice straight line rather than sort of put a line on them, fit them to a line, and you run the risk that if you touch the line slightly with this, it will take the line out. What I've done is come up, this is 97mm piece of timber each side, and I've pinged a line onto that timber trimmer there, and then simply what I'll do is cut a smaller piece of this, and if you just see a smaller piece of this, lay it in here each time I set one of these joist hangers up, and then we can just make sure that the top of this bit of timber that's in here goes to that blue line. We'll get a nice straight line down there. So just a little tip to get them nice and straight. Right, we've finally got it all set out, all the joist hangers are on, so let's get some of these trusses in. Right, that's that hip in. I didn't go into great detail because I've done it like 8 times on here already. So, but I'll just show you how I put in this end common, although it would be like a king common. So the end common, if this was a double hipped roof. As I said before, these rafters aren't big enough to get a bird's mouth in, but it doesn't matter because we're lifting them up and fixing them, gang nailing them to the ceiling joist. So what I've done, I've got my height above plate block here, which is the standard, standard thing to set up my my hips. And all I've basically done here is this is what effectively be the end common. I put a plumb cut on the top and obviously butted it to the last common in the main one of the roof, although it's only a mono pitch here. And then all I simply do, look, with my height above plate block, is put that on the plate here, lift this rafter up until the top of the rafter is to the top of my height above plate block. I'm getting muddled up with that, sorry, I'm getting a mental block about it now. Yeah, so this is the height above plate. It's basically the measurement from the plate to the top of the rafter. So I bring this rafter up because it hasn't got a bird's mouth. Normally the height above plate would be to where the seat cut of the bird's mouth is. I just basically bring this rafter up until it is the correct height above the plate, and then clamp it here and then fix it through here. So yeah, that's that end all done now. It's nice. I might get a level out and show you how bad these trusses are. These main 7 monos, like a common mono, they've been fine, but these last 2 girder tops, I don't know if you can just see there how much they kick up. And if you look on where I've cut the tops of them onto the hip, you can see here they're sticking up a bit, but as you go up there, look, they stick up even more. So basically they're just, straight mono trusses, but I'm going to have to cut some off that one and plane some off this one, because that's just, you can see down this batten, look, can you see that, how it kicks it up? So that's too much. So anyway, I've made a start on the other end and we can get that hip in there now. Boosh! Nice. Excellent. That's those done. Right, so it's been quite a mad day today. We've got all this in, it's both ends are done now, and we've actually marked out for this double beam that goes across the front, which takes the roof as it returns back. What else we've got to say? Not much really. Haven't been able to do too many details because you may or may not have heard there's just been carnage and people working, and obviously I can't ask people to stop working just because I want to talk to a camera. Same issue we've got this end with these top rafters of these girder trusses, or flat top trusses. Look, they're sticking up here and sticking up quite badly there, so pretty poor really. But anyway, I'll cut those off. We've got some good lines anyway apart from that. Nice planes all the way down there, and obviously when this roof wraps around and finishes across the front there, it's going to be a lovely long roof line down there. We've done the same on the back, pretty much the same as all the others, the way that I've done the hips and the jack rafters. We've marked out, there's a triple along the back here. I think it's slightly longer span, but again, when we sort of triangulate these rafters and ceiling joists in here, it's very strong anyway, as long as we get a nice good fixing to the wall. So as you can see here, what I'm going to have to do, set this beam so that it is at soffit level, so it's got to be packed up 10 mil off this brickwork here. So this will be the actual soffit line, so we won't see any of this beam. So when you
when you look up at this soffit here, it will just be flat all the way out. It'll be flat all the way out here, and it'll carry on round, round underneath the fascia, which will look really neat. All I've got to do is probably pack it up a little bit, maybe a 4x2 on top of there, so that we can end up with a proper bird's mouth cut into the rafters as these rafters come along here. So that's it for today on this one. It's been a good day actually. This is the final part of this roof. This is hips number 11 and 12. So yeah, really enjoyed doing that. So get those little bits done when we come back tomorrow, and hopefully then it's just a case of finishing off the soffit and fascia, and we can call the roof done. Morning, so we're back on site. One of those mornings, actually this morning's a little bit cooler, makes you feel glad to be alive. So in the immortal words of John from Build with A&E, less talking, more working. Just quickly before I get going, there's one other thing that makes this day extra special and exciting. Oh, look at that, new pencil day, woohoo! All done. Look at that. Took about an hour and 20 minutes. Not a lot of work at all. Put the top plate on. Put an extra bit of CLS to pack up the beams on the bottom an inch and a half so we get a bird's mouth in there. So let's go in and have a look. Yeah, pretty easy stuff really. Extra layer of inch and a half on top of this beam. These beams are, the structure here wants them staggered, bolted together at 450 centre, so they're done. Bolts are a bit longer, but it doesn't matter because this is all going to be in the void of the soffit under there. So it was pretty easy to set out these rafters, to be honest. I just pushed this 4x2 across, look, and just took my mark straight off that rafter. Did the same down here, so not really much complicated working out. And then I just made a pattern up because it's got a bird's mouth top and bottom. And they're only little. It was quicker to just make a bird's mouth up and run those in. So again, pretty easy. Make sure that plate across there is level. Make sure that this beam across here is level, and they all go where they go. So we don't need to put any ceiling joists in here because, as I said, it's going to be framed out afterwards for the ceiling. And there is here. I mean, there's a bit of flex on this beam, but there is two big sandstone pillars going either side of this is the front door, so obviously that's going to catch that. What we'll do is just put an acro prop down underneath it while it's roofed, and then we can fit the We can fit those piers afterwards, those columns afterwards, and then we can put the soffit around it. So that's absolutely brilliant. I'm really pleased with how that's gone. It's a lovely day out here, as I said. So let's just have a look down there. Look, oh, lovely, nice line down through there. So now I can go around the back and do the same around there. Right, that's it. That's all of this roof structure done on this one. 12 hips in all. That's a lot of hips for one house. So yeah, all done nicely. I'm not going to put the soffit and fascia on today. I've shown you a video, and thank you if you watched that. I've shown a video on how I do that already. Slightly different detail down here, but nothing really worth making a video of. I've chopped off the top of these two high rafters. I'm just going to get my planer out and plane these ones. But yeah, so we're all ready. Just for pretty much, it'll be the best part of the day, just finishing this off now, running my sub fascia around and putting the soffit and fascia on. So yeah, I'm really pleased, that's looking good. Roof has obviously just finished the garage roof that I did, I think that was last week now. Obviously the main roof's all finished. So yeah, that's all the framework done on this roof. It's been a cracker actually. I know I had a few problems with the trusses to start with, but nothing that we couldn't get over, and I do enjoy cutting hips, as I've said many times before. So thank you very much for watching this, and if you watched the 4 videos where I was doing this main roof, thank you very much, and I hope you found them interesting. Thanks for watching.